All right, guys, what's up, James Casino, Chocolate Man in Thailand. Man, we've got some important information for you today. We're going to get right into it. I got my man,
Thomas Carden.
What do you do, Thomas?
I am the Director of American International Tax Advisors.
All right, why are we here today? We're going to get right into this again. We're not playing around. Obviously, the hot topic right now is taxes in Thailand. And Thomas is the foremost expert in the country right now. I promise you. Okay, let's go.
Okay, Thailand has made a change or announced an upcoming change. Now, don't panic. This has got to go through the legislature. It's not just a rule change. The change effectively is that you will be taxed on income if you are resident in Thailand for more than 183 days on all of your income worldwide. Global taxation. Now, prior to this, you were only taxed on money remitted into Thailand, which means brought into Thailand, either physically or a bank account. Now, that's a big change, but it also makes things a bit simpler because you're only going to be taxed on the income you earn on a calendar basis if you're here more than 183 days. And it allows you to, your past money could come in effectively free of tax. No more remittance tax. But on your current year, you'd get taxed. So you could theoretically bring money in from a previous year and as savings and bring it in because it's not, the remittance tape basis would theoretically go away. Don't panic about this because this is got to go through legislature. They can't, this isn't just a rule change like the last thing they did. They got to go through legislature, they got to write the rules, they got to make all the changes and regulations to go along with this. This would not come into effect until at least January 1st of next year. But honestly, with the way the Thai legislation system works, this may take 5 years to work its way through. In fact, we were just talking, just last night, they announced that they were going to remove further study on the 300 baht Thai tourist tax when you come in. That's been working its way through the legislation for years. They just killed that.
Done.
This could die as well. But we can discuss how this could affect you if you are here and coming in to retire in Thailand.
Now, Thomas, have they passed a law? Like, is there something written in the Royal Gazette saying that there is a new tax law in Thailand? Is there any current tax law that applies specifically to expats, foreigners, etc., who are living in the country right now?
At this particular point, all that's been done is there was an announcement in the Bangkok Post by a director of the tax firm that this is the way they're going to move and that they would have to amend the laws to do this, which means you're correct. It's not in the books yet. It hasn't passed. And one thing about this that we discussed before, this isn't meant to go after retirees and expats who are living here. This is meant to broaden the entire Thai tax base, and it's meant to go after wealthy Thais who are keeping money overseas because they haven't been taxed on this stuff at all. And by the way, guys, Thailand is a spectacular place to live. Very, very happy with this. But this is actually the way most countries operate. You're taxed, if you're more than 183 days, you're taxed on everything globally. Otherwise, you're only taxed on the money that is resides, that is earned in Thailand. And now, you can get around this when this occurs by moving your money out, or moving your money around to different pensions using tax trees. Hong Kong has a great way to save money if you're going to be resident here. You can build up a savings plan there, move that money into Thailand free of tax. And because it's based upon a pension, you could also daisy chain the U.S. tax treaty to that one and be free of tax worldwide if you're an American moving here.
So a perfect example, I'm an American, former military member. I receive a military pension as well as disability pay. How will this affect me living in Thailand? I'm here long-term resident. I have an elite visa, so I spend more than 183 days in the country. Right now, is it going to affect me?
Okay, now now we're going into individual tax treaties. And there's a whole lot of them. There's a German one, there's an English one, there's an Australian one, there's a UK one. There is an American tax treaty. And for the good news, especially for the military retirees, federal government pensions stay exactly how they are now. They are taxable in the United States, not taxable in Thailand. Social Security, if you're on a US-based Social Security, only taxable in the US, not taxable in Thailand. So if you're going to live off of Social Security, if you're primarily living off of Social Security income, that's not going to be taxable in Thailand to begin with. But say you got a $20,000 pension distribution, then your case is government, that stays taxable in the US. If say I'm living off my US 401k, but I wasn't a government employee, that would be free of tax in the US, but taxable here. And the tax rates are actually slightly lower than they are in the US in most cases. So generally, you're not going to tax if you're getting taxed in the U.S. or in most countries. Thailand's not an aggressive tax state on this. It's just push this through. But one of the problems with this is in the current system, as the rules that were changed last year for this year are in place, if you bring any money in, you've effectively got to show how much tax has been paid on that money in another country to get a tax credit here. Now, if you sold a house 15 years ago and you've been sitting that money in savings, and you're finally bringing that into here, you're theoretically going to have to prove how much tax was paid on that sale of that house before you bring it in here. What's going to happen if they move into worldwide taxation, because that's the primary subject today, is you'd pay tax in the United States on that house sale. You'd come over here, you'd report the house sale. They'd tell you how much your Thai tax liability is, and then that amount would get reduced by the amount of tax you paid in the United States. And again, it's at slightly lower rates here, so most cases, you're not going to owe a whole lot of tax here. This really means that you're only going to be taxed on your calendar year income, and you're going to have to file a tax return showing your worldwide income if you're here for more than 183 days. But hey, you can sit there, you can spend 3 months in Bali, go to Cambodia, go in Europe. If you're less than 183 days in Thailand, you're not subject in Thailand, but you can't get the distributions out free of US tax out of IRAs or 401ks because you're no longer a tax resident here for the tax treaty either. If you're planning on moving here, move here before this law comes into effect and take your IRA distributions out, because you can do that free of worldwide tax right now until this law comes into effect.
So once this law comes into effect, how would you speculate that the process of filing your taxes and whatnot, like, is this going to be a very complex process? Is this something the individual filer would be able to do?
Oh no. We had one client in the last year who was in a particular situation where they had to claim a U.S. tax credit of $900. Actually very rare under the old system. $900. It was 9 months to get the Thai Revenue Authority to recognize that was a valid tax credit with it. The Thai authorities don't know the rules. They don't have the rules formed. The idea that you're going to go in and do this on your own, or you're going to go down to the Thai lady, the block down the street and do this, there's no way. What we're doing right now is I have 2 different teams. I have a U.S. tax team and a Thai tax team. My U.S. team is actually bigger right now. My Thai tax team is 6 people. It will go to 25 the year we have to start filing this. Wow. It will double or potentially triple the size of my firm, because we primarily deal with Americans living here as American national tax advisors. But now the Brits and the Aussies and the Germans and everybody else will have to be doing Thai tax returns. So that will actually become a bigger portion of my firm. But we also don't know the exact start date. We don't have the forms. We don't have the regulations on this. So as complex as it is for us, with a very, very good Thai staff, you're going to have to come to somebody like us. And there's very few of us doing this.
Again, we'll have to speculate here because this isn't law yet. But will there be any retroactive taxes that I'm going to have to pay if I have money here or brought money in or things like that?
Generally, the Thais are very good on not doing retroactive. Like when they announced the last series of changes, it began the next January 1st. So my speculation on this is, if this comes into effect under normal procedures, I think this is a year or 2 for them to possibly get this through the legislature. I could be completely wrong on that. That's what my father used to say, a swag, scientific wild ass guess. But a year and a half, 2 years, which would mean generally they would kick that in the year after that. Now, as that stuff starts going through legislature, James, a good friend here, will keep you guys informed on what's happening. One of the keys is, don't panic about this. Still only deal with the existing laws as they have now. We can help you out with that. If you are planning on coming in and bringing a substantial amount of money in your first year, just do it in the year you spend less than 183 days. Then you're good. You can bring an unlimited amount of money into it. There's also things about gifting to your Thai wife or Thai girlfriend. You can get around that to a specific level. I've not seen that confirmed yet to my liking. So, I'm not heavily pushing that, but that's a possibility.
What about Thai-born children? Could I pass money on to?
Theoretically, as a gift, yes, because gifts are not done, but all sorts of wacky stuff goes into that. But yes, You can send money out as a gift and it's coming in free of tax. Between spouses, gets a little iffy, but with children, I don't think you have any issues, especially adult children.
All right, and again, your firm is the American International Tax Advisors, but can you provide services for other countries?
Yeah, we will deal, especially on the Thai taxes. We'll deal with anybody who needs a Thai tax return, especially with international stuff. We also help company planning, retirement planning. You know, you name it. We're now, as far as I know, the biggest firm in Southeast Asia at 26 people. And we're about to go to 50, which will definitely make us the biggest firm. And we operate all the way from Saudi Arabia all the way up into Manila. Do this, the whole crescent through there.
Yeah, they're a bit spread out. They got some things going on. They've been doing my taxes for, I guess, the last two or three returns, and it's been amazing, amazing service. I just sign on the line, guys. That's all I do. I give them all the information. They do all my paperwork is ridiculously thick because of YouTube income, because of pension, because of all these other things I got going on, investments and whatnot. I sold a house. It's been insane. There is no way. The stack of paperwork from my last return, there's no way I could have accomplished that on my own. Yeah. So thanks to your team, Thomas.
Thanks,
they saved me a lot of trouble and probably saved me a lot of money.
Make sure you subscribe. He's helping you out.
It's all good. Any parting thoughts? Quick video, guys. We wanted to get this information out to you guys. Calm the waters a little bit.
Yeah, don't panic.
Yes.
The way the Thai system works, even though that article's out there, this could go away. It has not passed into law yet. They have to go through this. And just on the 300 baht tourist tax, it was years and years and years, and finally this group killed it. So don't panic. We want you to know how this could affect you and how this could plan, with you. But if you do have any specific questions in your tax issues, give us a call. Chocolate Man subscribers will give a free half-hour consultation. No questions asked.
Make the call. Make the call. Please get off the forums, get off the interwebs, stop doing your own research. Please talk to the experts. They're willing to talk to you for free. Talk to you for free about your situation and make sure and see how it applies to you and if you have anything to really worry about, which 99% of you won't, unless you're a multi-millionaire bringing serious money into Thailand. This isn't going to affect you. Like I've been saying for a while now, but everybody's worried about it.
Okay.
All right, Thomas. Anything else?
Thank you very much, my friend.
All right, awesome. All right, guys, take care. See you on the next one. Jay's Casino, Chocolate Man in Thailand.